I know as well as you do, that's a simple fact really, that there's a fine line between an explanation and an excuse. But the fact remains, whether I blame it on my ADD or not, that sometimes I kind of suck at life. And that shines through a little bit, or maybe a lot, as I try to produce a YouTube video a week. Producing a video a week is easier said than done. But that's still my goal. This week, just for the sake of sticking with that goal, of putting out a video a week, I'm gonna string together the attempts that I've had over the last several days to make a video about a camping trip that I went on this weekend. We planned a trip to go to Colorado for a week, which is coming up. We're leaving in a couple of days. But in a normal summer, we try to go camping a couple of times a summer. And this year, we just haven't been able to. So before we took this trip to Colorado, we decided to go on a short little 2-day camping trip to Tobyhanna State Park. Just to do kind of a shakeout trip. Test out some of the gear on the new Toyota 4Runner, the new bike rack that we got, some stuff that I got for the bike that I plan on using for some long bike rides in Colorado. I had also planned on making a video while we were there because Tobyhanna is a very nice state park. It's got a little reservoir and some nice little gravel bike trails nearby. Sometimes I have trouble getting my stuff together. Yeah, to do some vlogging. Okay, as all vloggers do. And that's the thing about being a YouTuber. You kind of have to be prepared to just film everything. And I'm kind of not there yet. Back to the having your stuff together. I ordered these things because I want to do some long rides in Colorado. So I got this tumbleweed mini pannier rack. Okay, I like it because it's small and it has these mounting points where you can put a water bottle cage like this. This is like a bigger, like king cage kind of thing. And then I have these small Lidl kind of sort of waterproof panniers that I got for it. So Tobyhanna has this great multi-use trail that goes around the reservoir, and it's gravel. You know, it's nice. So I started doing this little vlog thing here, and I looked up and realized that the little puffy external microphone that I use to get that oh so super smooth sound was missing. And I thought I remembered putting it on. So I got off my bike and turned around and slowly walked back the way that I just came rambling, and I found it right in the middle of the trail. Found a really cool spot by the lake to take some video and to sit down and do a blog and just talk about the future of Anxcapades and some things that I really want to do, some goals that I have, and the kind of content that I hope to be turning out soon. But in my infinite noobness, I didn't film that right. Another thing is that I just have a goal for life, that I want to do more adventurous stuff. I want to get out more. I want to use my bicycle to do some bike packing and touring and long road, you know, multi-surface adventure. And due to coronavirus and just being able to afford to do those things and just circumstances in general. But there's really cool places to ride all around me that I can do for free. So I would like to do more trail tours like I did with the Perkiomen Trail. I would like to show the trail tour that I'm planning on doing in Colorado. Some more kind of travel vloggy sort of things, or just things that I do in my bicycle, and things that you could do on your bicycle. But I thought you'd like to hear the story of how the rest of the camping trip went. So in my numerous attempts to make this video, I've spliced together as much of it as I can to give you an example of how goofy my life can be sometimes. One of the other things that keeps getting cut out somehow when I talk about it is that while I was putting on the cargo pannier rack on my bike, I noticed that my rear tire was getting pretty worn out. I was pretty sure that I was going to have a hard time finding a good tire. I called the bike shop where I purchased my bike, and I asked them what they had on stock, and they had a pair of Maxxis Rambler. It's basically a cyclocross racing tire, but it has pretty good reviews. It's a lightweight tire. It's got a decent tread pattern, and it should work out pretty good. I didn't do any videotaping the rest of the weekend except for briefly Saturday morning. Now, this area is known to be visited occasionally by black bears. Saturday morning, when my wife woke up, she heard some scratching, and she looked out of the tent. The sun was just coming up, and she saw what she thought was a bear, which actually was just a guy in a hooded sweatshirt who was peeling bark off of trees to start a fire, I guess. Campfire. So I made fun of her all day for thinking that the guy in the sweatshirt was a bear climbing a tree when it was just a guy in a sweatshirt tearing bark off the tree. And I'm normally, being from Colorado and having traveled in bear areas in Canada and other parts of the United States, I'm generally pretty careful about putting all of the food inside the vehicle and locking it up before we retire to the tent at night. But Saturday night, I failed to do that. And as luck would have it, a black bear came into our campsite and drug our cooler around and ate all of our Hershey bars that we were making s'mores with, a whole pile of leftover chocolate chip pancakes, and just spilled the contents all over, broke some eggs and other stuff that we had for breakfast yesterday morning, or that we were gonna have for breakfast yesterday morning. But I thought I'd share that story. If you don't lock up your food contents when you're camping in an area where there's bears, you might have bears come into your camp and eat everything that has chocolate in it. Because everybody thinks bears love honey. Bears love chocolate. And if you have chocolate anywhere where they can get a hold of it, they'll try to get it. So that means when you're backpacking, hiking, if you spend the night and you have chocolate on your person, you should put that stuff where a bear can't get it. Lesson learned. Some people might not believe this is a true story, but it is. I almost forgot. Back to the channel news things. We'll see how things go in Colorado. I'm also beginning to do rides with friends. Probably going to be called Rovin' with Rubes, where I invite somebody to go on a ride and then we talk about things. I did one last weekend with my friend Josh Wisely, so that'll be coming out probably right after the Colorado trip. Some people were walking by looking at me. That's the other thing I'm not used to YouTubing, is when you're out in public and you're talking to a camera, you get a lot of weird looks. So stay tuned. It gets better. There's 2 thumbs down there. I'd appreciate it if you tap the one that's pointing up. Then, if you know anybody else that likes bear stories or dumb stories, tap that share button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. All of that stuff somehow works out in a YouTube algorithm that helps YouTube recommend my kind of crazy content to other whack jobs so they can watch it. I guess when you're a wannabe YouTuber, that's important. You know, get out there, get exposure, get more subscriptions. It's a thing. And it's a thing that I'm trying to do. So, I appreciate it. Till next time, in case you forgot, I'm Rubes, and these are my Ankscapades. Thanks for watching.